Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, June 27th, 2018 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is, I am the center of my universe. And when I wrote down the energy mantra, I was like, wow, there are going to be people who are going to be triggered by this. But there's really no need to be triggered by being the center of the universe. The way I look at it, in a logical sense, is that the universe is an infinite, ever-expansive energy, which means anything really can be the center. And truly, you are at the center of the creation of your personal life, your personal universe. And right now is the time to try to find the center amidst all of the chaos that is going on around the world and in and through life and everything. We are in full moon energy. We have a full moon happening late tonight, early tomorrow morning, depending on where you live. So it's happening 9:53 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 12:53 a.m. Eastern time, and you can do the rest of the math from there. Full moons are a time of endings and beginnings. This full moon is the last full moon before we begin all of the eclipses, the 3 eclipses that we have coming in this summer. And I already have been talking about these energies. I keep calling it the wild yin wave, and everything that keeps happening, Astro keeps pointing at this energy, the wild yin energy that is coming in, filtering in, infiltrating, infiltrating the foundation of things, infiltrating what was once set in stone, and just like the waters come in and wear away the stone, the yin energies are coming in and wearing away the structures of what has been. Now, the energies may feel kind of wonky. In part, this is because we are building into the full moon. As we build into the full moon, emotions set in. We're in Cancer, so it's a very emotional time. Emotions rise, things that need to be processed, endings that need to come through, those things all come up. So that can be one thing. On top of that, we have Mars, which has just gone retrograde. So Mars retrograde kind of takes the yang on a different level. The yang is not like gung-ho, all systems go, straight on till tomorrow kind of energy. Yang is taking a back seat to the yin waves that are coming in. So you may not have your usual get up and go that you normally would feel. On top of that, this full moon is very connected to Saturn. We have the sun, which connected to Saturn earlier this morning. We will have confirmation, the moon connect to Saturn before the full moon energy. And Saturn right now is in a state of perigee. This is a state in Saturn's orbit where it's closest to the Earth. So on top of the fact that our drive is down with Mars retrograde, we have this very heavy energy of Saturn that's kind of weighing us down. Now this is good. Saturn always brings us to our responsibility. Saturn is asking us to respond to what is showing up in life. The chaos, the emotions, the feelings, whatever is going on for you, Saturn is saying, how are you showing up? Now what I think about this personally is that the lightness and heaviness of the heaviness of Saturn, the naturally inherent Saturn heaviness, is going to depend on where we are in our personal soul responsibility process. Saturn is responsibility, but there are many ways to take it. The responsibility of Saturn could be in alignment with the responsibility of society, the responsibility of the world, what the world says for you, what your family has said for you, what your friends say for you, what your bosses say for you, what the clergy says for you, what your astrologer says for you. That could be one level of the responsibility. The other level of responsibility is you being responsible to your soul. Are you responding to the truest part of yourself? If you are doing that, I can't guarantee that it's going to be light. I also cannot guarantee that it's going to be easy, but I can guarantee that you're not going to feel the dread, the dread of responsibility, or the kind of melancholy, it's not really a word I want, but the soul-killing feeling of going against what your true soul energy is. So really tune into these feelings. These feelings are meant to guide you, and these feelings are telling you where you are in regards to your own personal center and in regards to creating your universe around the center at which you sit. So it's really, really powerful energy that is meant to move us, groove us in and through this day and the next. One of the things I want to remind you, I think I talked about this in my weekly video on Patreon and maybe another video I did this week. We have Mercury preparing to shift into Leo. Mercury will be shifting into Leo tomorrow on Thursday, which means Mercury's at those final degrees of Cancer. That's also going to instigate the process of processing our feelings, the bringing up of the thinking and the thoughts around whatever feelings are coming up right now. Avoidance is not the way. It's like going outside and it's like, oh, it's raining a little bit. I don't need an umbrella. And then the downpour happens and you're like, yes, I will dance between the raindrops. You can try to dance between these raindrops. You can try to dance between the feels that are coming up right now. You're gonna get wet, and that's okay. It's meant to happen at this time. This is part of accepting the wild yin. The good news is that there is a semblance of order despite any chaos that you may be feeling in your life. And that comes through in our goddess card, which we'll get into. If you can trust in the inherent order of what is happening, and if you can keep taking the steps that you are soul guided to take, then you are going to move through with beautiful responsibility. And that really is the ending and the beginning in and through this full moon energy. Releasing your need to please everyone in the world but yourself. And stepping into the new energy of taking that responsibility for yourself. I think that's a big part of this moon. Now, let's be fair. We have our first eclipse in Cancer in like 2 weeks now, July 12th. And that's setting us up over the next several years of having multiple eclipses through Cancer and Capricorn. And it will be through this time and through Saturn continuing to move through Capricorn that we do shift more and more into this soul responsibility. But every bit of awareness, every shift in that direction is supporting you and is also supporting the world in the major changes that are happening in the world and will help you ground into your center, to the place that you ultimately want to be. So honor that, and that will support you in and through all of this. Saturn, too, if you are listening to your soul, I believe that there are going to be responsibility, revelations coming through from Saturn at this time that will help you take those steps. Even if you're like right now, I don't know what I'm doing, which I don't know what I'm doing, and I have multiple friends who are in a similar place of, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what I'm doing. Sit. Saturn has answers for you, and if you take those guided steps, there is no need to fear. The dance is already prepared for you. Full moon energy, the Sabian symbol, is very interesting. Again, endings and beginnings. 10 logs lie under an archway leading to a darker woods, to the unknown, but to all of the creation power that is in those woods, in the forest. 10 is a symbol of completion. It symbolizes even more the revelation of a new series of activities just ahead. Endings and beginnings. I'm going to leave it at that. Endings and beginnings, new wood with which to make creations, and yet a forest of divine creation, of possibilities, and chances are of magic as well, if you're willing to tune into that. I think I'm going to leave that there. One other thing that I want to mention in and through this energy, which may be a little confusing, we have an inconjunct between Venus and Neptune. So Venus is in Leo. Neptune is retrograde in... I know where I'm going with this. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. Okay, so I usually don't like to look at other astrologer stuff because I don't want it to infiltrate my brain. I like to get my messages just from spirit. Yesterday when I was on Facebook, though, I saw something from an astrologer said something interesting. She said, the only good sex that you're going to have through the Mars retrograde transit is sex with an X. And the yin in me instantly was like, wait, what? Because it is not just my Mars that is responsible for that in my life. Now, this is really interesting because this connection with Neptune retrograde connecting to Venus in Leo, which connects us to our heart, it may actually connect us to some past relationships, past lovers. They may come up. You may need to begin some of those ending processes. Not begin, but like, you know, cut some cords, release some of that energy. Be aware of that. But I really do have the belief that if there was love there once, love continues. Remember that. We are all connected. There's love in and through everything. And if you can close these doors, release these energies with love and gratitude for the lessons, chances are you'll be less likely to be bitten by that karma when that comes around again. I also want to mention that I do not believe that what she said is actually true, because I think that there's a lot more to sexuality, creation, all of that than just the Mars energy. But that is just my personal feeling. All right, let's get into these cards. This sums it up. You may feel a little bit like this. I do. Not so much the trust part, but like, okay, here I go. Do I have wings yet? I don't know. I don't think so. Am I going to crash? But the universe has got us. We are in the flow. There is an ordained dance that is going on. Be present in the moment. Be available. Be tuning into that soul responsibility. That's going to help you. That being said, there's divine possibilities at play. They just haven't come up yet, and they're not quite ready yet. So if you are still in this place, that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It actually means that you're doing something right. Continue to trust that energy. There is an order, and I love this card. I'm like, oh, this is so perfect. I don't know how to say her name. Nüwa? Order. There is a way, and I am that way. The way of nature that moves in all things. In the beginning, I created the universal pattern. The way things are, the way things flow, the way things need to be. Then I sequenced the seasons, harmonized the hillsides, organized the oceans, till all was auspiciously arranged. I am the natural order of things. I am that way. And I want to actually read her mythology of Nüwa. At the time of what the Hopi and Shanxi people of northern China called the great chaos of the universe. You mean now? Nüwa, the dragon-bodied goddess, came to restore order. She replaced the pillars of heaven with legs of the great turtle and repaired the sky with colored stones. Her repairs enabled the rains to fall when needed and the seasons to come to their rightful order. The dragons on her two pillars guard the path of the sun and the moon. The compass she wears at her waist symbolizes order. Meaning of the card. Nüwa floats into your life to assist you in creating order. Is chaos constantly peering around the edges of your life, threatening to overwhelm you if you relax for an instant? Have you let things pile up and bury you? Do you find you are excellent at organizing your boss, your family, your mate, but not yourself? Are you afraid of order, afraid that if you find a workable system for yourself, you will feel locked in, unable to flow? Or perhaps you have created order in your life, but in a way that is stifling and still, solid, heavy, engraved in stone. Now is the time to nurture yourself with order that assists rather than chokes your life force. Oh, that's so good. Nüwa says that when life is ordered in the natural way, you nurture your path to wholeness. When you forcibly impose something unnatural from without, you create rebellion and resistance. True. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. So, that is it for today. Happy full moon. There is enough love in the world for you, and the better it gets, the better it gets. Namaste.